not trust their CEO, make them think. We tested this out. We worked with a engineering group in Pune, one of the oldest engineering companies in India, in varied businesses all over in the world today. And like I said, we could not have designed everything for them. So we decided to use their own people to test this out. So now this particular group of people were pioneers 100 years back, because they did say for the first time metal casting was done by them. For the first time, few agricultural implements which were always used in wood were made in metal by them. And this is very innovative thing, right? Change of material for a certain this thing. Now, what these people were doing is, they are very quick. They sit in the market. As soon as their competition launches a product, they go buy that product, come back to their lab, open it up, copy it, put it in the market. You understand what's happening? Okay, and then they say, we are up to date. We are matching our competition. Happens. But that's the truth. Fact is, they will always be following their competition. And today, when the technology becomes complex, it's not so easy to copy. Always. So you start lagging, your image of innovation is gone, you cannot take a premium because you were the first to the market. More than that, your own people have forgotten to think. Okay? So if they go to Austria and pick up a product from there, they'll end up making a product and launching it in India, even though Indians don't need it. So we tested a 3-day workshop with a leading engineering group of companies. We covered a design process basically in a non-design way, so no skill required, but basically think. We had 64 teams of engineers which participated. Teams because we needed people to work together. Each team had say 5 or 6 people. We took them away to Lonavala for 3 days, exposed them to the whole process, very intensive exposure but fun, just opened them up. They made 50 products in those 3 days. Talked about, just wrote. Made in the sense, they just visualized in written because they don't have the skills. 50 products. Okay, in the hope that we are just having an exercise, fun exercise. And when we told the chairman that these really have to be produced, we were given 3 months. They were given 3 months. All of them went and produced this in the workshop. Okay, so they were given the workshops, they have the workshops and wherewithal to do this. We then figured out a way that this has to be tested and validated and to be brought back into exhibition and things like this. 10 products from these 3 days were the products which were first time in the world. They're not existing in the world. 10 products in 3 days exercise. Okay? This whole group in last 130 years of history owns 8 patents. Okay, 3 patent technologies were developed in 3 months' time. Thank you, but I didn't do anything. And there was one machine which is getting ready to sell now, I think. This is in February, we finished this. The day these guys got it to show it to us in a truck, obviously it's a large machine, they had already sold 370 crores worth of that machine to the clients. And I can tell you what it does. It basically chills a place like this, multiplex. You know the chiller for a multiplex is a huge chiller. It's like a huge container. So if somebody needs to put an AC plant in a building like this, you need to break few walls so that the truck can come in and cranes can come in and the whole thing can be loaded, and it makes huge amount of noise, and then it has to be built, the room has to be built around a huge thing which goes around that. These guys used a technology from a completely different source, which is a part of the process was, can you think of a technology from some other domain which can be used for this, which makes this whole thing something like this, which can go in a Tata Ace now for a multiplex like this. Okay, so much so the premium you can charge on this. You know, for this large whole thing you were charging certain amount, you charge 4 times the amount for this because the owner has real estate and all those things happening. So you can imagine what happens. they're using less material, they're saving production, it's easier to produce, easier to maintain, transport, everything they're saving on. And they charge 4 times the amount. And people are paying for this. So we started working on how can we make design work for innovation so that we can put this out in companies and people can work on their own. People can start innovating on their own. Now it's another thing that this had to be implemented. Whatever they did was not very nice looking. It was functional, but not industrially designed. It was not something which you will prefer over the other product, though functionally it is. So what that means is we've now brought in a team of designers from all over the world, because this is a huge range of products, and now they are using the same functions and making it look nicer. Packaging is better, the materials are being used better. So obviously there is a superior product which is coming up. We took this exercise and converted this whole learning into what Rajesh introduced, called Elephant Versity Institute of Innovation. We just launched this in Pune. It's a course, it's a 26-weekend course on alternate weekends for working people, for companies, where we're getting the best people from the world to give you components. They'll teach you the part of that magic, not the magic. Nobody can teach you magic. People can only teach you part of that magic. I have a lot of detail, we can get into this. About innovation, this is what innovation is. It's an opportunity and it's an idea which can be exploited and it becomes innovation. Opportunity people understand, exploitation people understand, idea people don't understand how to do. So we basically went into details of this. Innovation is again invention multiplied by execution. I have already told you this earlier. The moment you look at the user, innovation starts happening. Okay? So the idea is you need to start somewhere for the idea. You cannot start with the viability, you cannot start with the feasibility, you have to start with the desirability or the needs. There are different kinds of innovation. It's a myth that innovation only happens in a product. The processes can be innovated. The same company I'm talking about, we had a distribution problem. You know, in Chandigarh or Bhatti, somewhere there are pharmaceutical companies coming up, and they have asked for some spare parts, and the company has not supplied the spare parts. It's a huge machine, and the spare parts are, say, some nuts or bolts which have not been supplied. And the company says that if you use some other nuts and bolts, you know, the warranty goes and things like that. So it's a huge machine not being used for over a year because nuts and bolts have not reached Bhatti from somewhere in south. Distribution problems. Can we do something to that whole process of communication? So business model innovation, product service innovation, process, technology innovation, always. This, I believe, you do anything better or in a different way or create something new, it is moving the world a little ahead. You know, how much ever, but there's somebody else who's going to build on this. So it's a collective growth. That's how all of us grow. Yeah, that's true. Everyone talks about it, but how do we innovate? This I've already told you. Also, another belief here is that in society, normally we do not want people to innovate. I'm sure you must have read that Fortune magazine about what's happening in Japan today. You know, the country which gave us Walkman and things like that. The Japanese structures have become so strict that they cannot innovate anymore. If there's a young guy who falls a little out of line and says, I want to do something, this guy is kicked out. Okay? That's how our companies are, that's how our systems are, that's how our education is. In fact, we go for operational efficiency. We want plug and play. You know all these terms, right? But that's an environment which kills innovation. Innovation doesn't happen because nobody's asking questions. You're not supposed to ask questions. You ask a question and you are kicked. Okay? So the more formal education individuals have, or the more experience they have on the job, the less able they are to solve problems in creative ways. Creative being that magic. It's a problem. we work with Venkis, we work with Kirloskars, we work with Bajaj. All these clients have people who are 45 years, 50 years. Any idea you go with and they'll say, no, we know, 30 years I'm working with this, 40 years I'm working with this. No, this doesn't work. No need to check it also, it's over. This is a big problem. How do you open that up? So the formal education often produces right answers. The kind of question answer system we have, analytical rules, thinking boundaries. And experience gives you proper ways of doing things, specialized knowledge, rigid expectation. That has its own value. But individuals lose the ability to experiment, improvise, or take mental notes. So you need a system which can break them out of this. It has to be workshops. You all know this. So the system which only works is hands-on workshops. What we are suggesting is a Saturday, Sunday is stress-free and fun. You can't have full week of working and then another two days of going through hell. Another thing which we normally forget in our regular thing is intuition. We know voice of the customer is important or the user is important and the methods are important, but we forget that there's something called intuition. A lot of times, we creative guys know this. The first idea which comes to your mind is the right idea, and you just keep it aside and you go around 1,000 more ideas and then come back and say, this is the best idea. Why is that? Why does that happen? It's because intuitively your mind has already gone over a lot of things and come back to a conclusion saying this. It's just that you want to check out a lot of ideas, go through that. We feel it's possible to do innovation intuitively. The moment you build knowledge in a certain way, the moment you put context in a certain way, you can do innovation in an intuitive way. That saves a huge amount of time. That's how you produce geniuses. Yeah, I think I've told all this already. There are three important pillars for design thinking: is inspiration, ideation, and implementation. And there are tools to all these. Okay, there is no alternative to inspiration. The first hand is always the best. The moment you meet people who have done something, you feel inspired. There's a light which comes from inside. Same thing is with ideation and implementation. Design thinking has its own ways. There is collaboration, there's experimental, personal. All these tools are existing. We already have these. And what we've done is we match them with the various competencies. So there is user research, analysis, ideation. All these tools are given for a certain objective. How do you recognize potential? How do you work with abstraction? How do you model and visualize? How do you think of alternatives? How do you do a value integration? How do you communicate ideas and values? This is ideating. So if you have a large room, do this, innovation is done. So basically, that's what I say: analysis and ideation. But prototyping is important. Whatever you do, you can cut time into having intuitive innovation, but you need to build it up and check whether it works or not, and go back and solve other problems. And then, of course, it has to relate to business. If it doesn't relate to business, it doesn't work. Last two slides. Yeah, so we thought we'll have this course running with people from finance, we have people from hospitals joining in pharma industry, we have people from engineering companies, we have people from IT, design, management, and we went and discussed our course with IDBM in Helsinki, and they are putting up a University of Innovation where they would be running the course which we have developed. Now this is what we suddenly realized is we've discovered a molecule, because yesterday one of the largest Indian corporate houses has landed up in our office to say if we can take care of their Academy of Innovation which is coming up in India. Because content is important, everybody is making the shell. We need to plan how we fill that up. And we have a CII affiliation as well into this. Another nice thing which we did, this of course, these are my partners. and that's our director. I have gone and discussed this course we've been discussing for last 2 years with the friends we have in industry and in academia all over the world. So it's another thing that these names are impressive as well. Does very well. Larry Leffer is there from the D School, Stanford. Eero is a very good friend who's the head of design in Nokia, Helsinki. Then of course Rajiv Bajaj and Atul Kirloskar, Uday Dandavate, few of the thinkers and friends. And this is what our thing looks like. We have sourced the faculty from all over. The first batch starts on 6th of September. And very frankly, I really don't know how this will go. This is going to be our first experience into something like this. Okay, I'll take question answers. Thank you.
We've got some mics which is sent around. Anybody wants to ask?
I must tell you, this is the first time I've done a lecture or a presentation where I've not shown our work. I mean, mostly I'm showing how we've done the new, air conditioner for so and so, and new refrigerator for so and so, or a new building for so and so. Yeah.
So I'm not looking for the cost of the, I'm not looking for the LED, but I want, what is the cost? Financial aspect.
Yeah. See, you mean what is the fees or what has it costed us?
So suppose I want to enroll myself.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. See, we thought we should make a lot of money on this course. Because nobody else has this. Okay. And it looks like we'll make a lot of money on this. We wanted to launch this at 5 lakhs per person. But then we felt very guilty that we're not, first time we are launching this, first time we're calling our friends to actually come and join, and there's a lot of people we are pushing into coming and teaching as well as coming and studying. So we thought we'll charge only 3 lakhs for this year, sort of break even in the first year. And let's see how this goes. We'll probably make money by setting up academies for now other companies by actually leasing out the curriculum, even to the universities which are looking at creating content. So that's on the net you will find more information. I mean, I've just given you a very general idea from designing to this.
Hey Sudhir, the cost of innovation, I mean, hearing you and is so expensive, and the cost of replication is almost nothing and gets replicated in no time. Even before your product is launched, there are 10 other products in the market. So how is it going to be financially viable, and how long? And of course, the paradox is it will still, I understand it will still be expensive. You will still be able to make money, but I see a disconnect here. And you have any thoughts?
Cost of innovation is very expensive.
Yeah, I thought that's what you said.
Okay. Did I say that? See, actually, what happens is this innovation.
3 lakhs is one answer. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's not the cost of innovation. That's a training program cost. Cost of innovation, my God. See, I feel innovation happens at various levels. I'll give you example from the pharmaceutical industry. People from pharmaceutical industry here? Yeah, you'll understand. There is something called molecule discovery. Okay, a lot of R&D companies engage into molecule discovery. Not so much in India, but if you actually look at Merck and all these guys, they do lots, billions and billions of dollars, and average molecule discovery is 12 years to 15 years. I don't think there's any molecule which has come in less than 12 years. So that's the core, that is discovering a new molecule. Now, it's called still discovering because it exists. It's not inventing a new molecule. It is still discovering a molecule. After the molecule is discovered, it has to be put into some kind of format. Okay, format could be, and then there's something called delivery. It has to be delivered to somebody. Now at the format discovery level, you sort of figure out that acha ye TB ठीक करेगा, or say it does. If I inject myself, my hair will be black throughout the year or throughout my life. I'll never have to use hair dye, for example. It could be different formats. Okay. The moment you have one molecule, it can be formatted in different ways. That innovation is little easier. Okay, but not as good as the molecule discovery. It is a little simpler, cheaper, but gives you the benefit. Okay. Third is the delivery itself. Should I eat 3 tablets a day within tablet, or should I eat 1 tablet a week, or should I take 1 injection once a year, or should I inoculate the child when he is born and through the life he will never have to take this? These are delivery forms. Okay. Then this is where India right now excels, the delivery formats. Now, the moment the molecule exists, the format exists, the delivery innovation is simpler to do. It's, the delivery innovation is mostly 2 to 5 years. Lots of these companies are actually engaged in this. Now, it depends on what is it that the company can spend. If you can discover a molecule, that is the real innovation, that is the real discovery. And that is the real discovery for a simple reason that is a